चलिए 1 2 3 शुरू हो रखा है, चलिए स्टार्ट।
Since the focus is on the graphical representation of demand, we will see how the change in any factor of demand impacts the demand curve. Now, as visible here, these are the determinants of demand: own price of the commodity, price of related goods, income of the consumer, future expectations of price, and taste and preferences. Now, here we see movement along the curve. What do you think will happen when the price of the commodity changes? Will it shift the curve or just a movement will happen? We are just saying that here that the price of the own commodity has increased. It will not shift. It will just lead to an expansion as seen here. From point A to point B, if the price has changed, say the price has decreased, the quantity demanded increases from Q1 to Q2. This is known as expansion, and this is through a downward movement along the same demand curve. Similarly, contraction will happen when the own price of a commodity increases and the quantity demanded decreases from Q1 to Q2, as visible from the point from point A to B. Why did this happen? Because of the inverse relationship between price and the quantity demanded. Now, what will happen if any factor other than the own price changes? For instance, I say that the income of the consumer increases. What will happen? Or the future expectation of the price increases. Will it lead to a movement on the curve? No. Now it will lead to a shift. In the shift in demand curve, we have two possible cases. Either the demand curve will shift towards the right or the demand curve will shift towards the left. If there is a rightward movement, it is known as increase in demand. And what are the factors that lead to it? Now say that the increase in income happens for a normal good. So if for a normal good the income increases, obviously the consumers will demand more. Similarly, if the price of a substitute increases, the price of the substitute increases, the given good becomes cheaper. Because of that, rightward shift happens. Similarly, any favorable change in any determinant, be it future expectation, be it taste and preferences, will lead to a rightward shift. And any unfavorable change, that can be decrease in the income, but remember in the case of normal goods, because if the good is inferior, an increase in income will lead to a leftward shift. And if I say that there is a complementary good, see we have tea and we have sugar with that. So if the price of the tea increases, what will happen to sugar? The demand for sugar will shift towards the left. Why? Because they get consumed together and they both become costlier as a group. So this is the concept of shift in the demand curve, which is very much different from movement. In shift, the demand curve is changing. In movement, the demand curve remains the same. As explained earlier, we had a contrast between movement and shift. Now see here, this is movement and this is shift. Why did this movement happen? Because of the change in the own price, the first determinant. And why did this shift happen? Because of any other factor other than the price. The shift, there was either a rightward shift or a leftward shift. Thus we see that if only the price of the commodity changes, there is movement along the same curve, and any factor other than the price changes, there is a shift on the demand.